Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Let's jump right into it. We got more tea being released from Hannah Brown's upcoming book, her memoir, talking about her time as Bachelorette, her time on Colton's season when he was the Bachelor. Do you remember these days? Oh, my gosh. The pandemic's been a long time since we're trying to look back on this and be like, this was only a few years ago. So I'm going to read some notes that someone said they wrote in the subreddit. They got a copy of Hannah Brown's book early, and there's some tea. Now, I always recommend you support people who write the book. It's not meant that we just transcribe the whole thing. So let's just comb through some aspects of these notes here, and we'll discuss them. And this comment thread has something like over 1,000 comments on it. So we'll read some of your comments. It's unbelievable. So Hannah was offered a spot on Colton season. She used it as a carrot to dangle in front of an ex in hopes that he would tell her not to go on the show. So that'll be interesting to see who that ex was. She wanted Colton to be the Bachelor. Hannah noticed Colton was much more uptight when the cameras weren't on, and she'd only kissed 4 guys before Colton. And again, we're going to get into the whole Pilot Pete stuff and Tyler. There's the whole timeline here. The show approached her after being the Bachelorette only a few hours after Colton dumped her. Hannah felt she was getting signs throughout filming Bachelorette that she should pick Jed, but looking back on it, her signs weren't reasons to get engaged to somebody. Jed was Ricky Bobby in her phone contacts while the show aired. Jed was not happy when he found out Hannah slept with Peter and asked if his wang was bigger. Oh, please tell me he used a W word, wang. Jed's real name is Jared. When Hannah didn't find out she didn't find out till the day they went home. Hannah, it's always exciting when you hook up with someone, you get engaged on the show, and then it's like, can I get your phone number? What's your mom's name again? Hannah called Tyler Hannah was excited for her after the final rose because it meant she'd get to see Tyler and Peter again. Hannah called Tyler on July 19th while the show was still airing. They said they still cared about each other, and the two of them agreed that she would ask him on a date during the live finale. Let me tell you something. What she says about Tyler, what I'm going to read for you at the end of this, is fascinating. I already looked through this. It's fascinating. It's gotta be true. It sounds exactly like something Tyler would say, and it's like, wow, it doesn't make Tyler look good. We'll put it that way. In order to not attract attention, they went back to Hannah's apartment after the show. It was awkward at first, but they eventually kissed. So Hannah and Tyler kissed after the final rose. They both told each other they weren't seeing anyone else, and they even discussed taking a vacation together. Despite getting hot and heavy that night, Tyler stopped before they hooked up. They bumped Harrison's because he wanted to take things slow. So through all that, I don't think she ever really actually bumped Harrison's with Tyler. Hannah admits that she let Tyler borrow her suitcase. Okay. Then they texted all day the next day discussing vacation plans. Hannah was ready to go all in with Tyler. And then the day after, August 4th, Tyler called and said, "It's so great that we're talking again, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page that we can see other people." Hannah told him that she just wanted to focus on seeing if the two of them would work. Tyler abruptly had to go and said he would call her back, but he didn't. She woke up the next morning to the paparazzi photos of Tyler and Gigi Hadid. Hannah ripped him a new one when they finally were back. Oh, I mean, look, it sounds like he was single. Let's not forget that Hannah dumped him, okay? I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Peter offered to quit the show if she took him back. We knew all that. She said if it didn't work out for him, that she wasn't going to be dating anybody. That's when her Dancing with the Stars started. Peter called Hannah just before his season started airing. So before Peter's season even started airing, he called Hannah, saying he had gotten engaged to Hannah Ann and was already having doubts. Peter and Hannah ran into each other at Hannah, Godwin, and Dylan's engagement party. He said he had so much to tell her, and Hannah slipped into his car undetected. As they got to her apartment, Hannah asked if he wanted to come up. He said he had a flight in the morning and needed stuff at home, so they went back to his house. By the way, I think she lived in Hollywood, wherever she lived. His family's an hour away, so the timing and all this, there's a lot of driving happening. I'm assuming they were drunk. I'm just assuming somebody was drinking. Peter and Hannah ran into each other, and then Barb, okay, so they get back to Peter's house, which is his parents' house. Barb, Peter's mom, was still awake when they got back and started talking about her feelings about all the women Peter brought home during his season. Then Peter just went upstairs to bed and left her with Barb. That's Tasha's laughing in the other room. You can hear that, Tasha? Oh, this is a good one, right? I get to perform to the YouTube audience and also my fiance in the kitchen. Sometimes she can hear me. So Barb's awake. Peter's like, I gotta go. Barb told Hannah Ann to stay the night and sleep in Peter's brother's room. A few minutes, I'm assuming Peter's brother was gone. Otherwise, that would be a whole nother story. A few minutes later, Peter texts her and says, "Come cuddle." Oh yeah, that's the word. I'm cold. I'm scared. I'm gonna have nightmares. Then they bumped Harrison's that night, and then the next morning, Peter handed her a $100 bill. This is breaking news, folks. We have a breaking news report. Peter handed her a $100 bill and said, "Break that, woman." and gave her an Uber home, which I was joking around and I was saying, oh boy, what is he like? Uber Deluxe? But then again, $100 for an Uber when your parents are about an hour west of here, she probably barely was able to tip the driver. Tip your drivers. Hannah, just a tip. Hannah reached back out just to see how it feels. Reached back out to Tyler when she heard something was up with his mom. She had been DMing with Andrea just a few days before this. So she's back to Tyler after the Peter thing happened because remember she said there was no spark. They talked on the phone and he apologized for how he had handled everything. This is Tyler. Around the same time, her brother Patrick OD'd, was on a ventilator. As he was recovering, Tyler called and asked her to come to his mom's celebration of life in Jupiter. A few days after that, Tyler asked her if she wanted to quarantine with him in Jupiter since everyone thought this would only be a few weeks. Ha! His friends told him it could be a perfect time for the two of them to figure it out. She admits they played into the quarantine crew stuff and the hype around the two of them together. She told Tyler she still had feelings for him and he still had feelings for her, except he was very hot and cold while she was in Jupiter, cuddling with her one night and then not speaking to her for an entire day. She says he started treating her like she was annoying after a while. When she finally figured out how to get back to Alabama, Tyler gave her a side hug and then didn't talk to her for the rest of the day. Couldn't she just drive back to Alabama? Rent a car, take a bus? I don't know. Maybe not a bus. Eventually, months later, she told Tyler that she couldn't be friends with him anymore because it hurts too much. They have not spoken since. His last words to her were, well, if you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, you don't. That's a... By the way, can that be the way we end my episodes from now on? I'm Dave Neal. If you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, you don't. Hit the subscribe button. Let's read a few of your comments here. I mean, by all means, a lot of times they say, oh, don't spoil the book. I think this very much promotes the book. I think she's going to probably have one of the best-selling, if not best-selling, memoirs to come out of Bachelor Nation. No offense to Madison Pruitt, but there's no way her book is going to be as juicy as Hannah Brown's. This is fascinating. Someone said, all this tea, I might actually pour myself a cup and read the thing. Excellent recap. And I have to tell you, just so you guys know, get the dogs ready. Whenever there's a lot of tea that comes in, we actually have to back it up. Just bring it out back. Straight down. Watch the curb. And then we just dump the tea off.
Do you want a spot of tea?
I do.
Yes, of course. I would love some tea.
All right, so Mom, distract Hannah while I clean my room. Got to change the sheets real quick. Oh, that could have been it. Yeah, maybe he needed to get into the room for a minute there and move a few things around. Why has Barb not started her own Sweet Numbs pancake batter business? Well, we don't want Peter's pancake batter. I'll tell you that much. We don't need that. That's not the tea we all signed up for. All right. The fact that Jed asked that his thing was bigger. His wang, I believe, is the term they used. His Vera wang. Very much not bigger wang. Jed's real name being Jared is the biggest tea. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. Jared's a fine name. Oh my God, he asked if his wang was bigger. For real. Why isn't anyone else hysterically laughing at this tidbit? Small dick energy. Right? Engaged and asked these questions. Oh, Peter going to bed and Hannah staying with Barb. We need a Barb tell all. The cum cuddle is so relatable, OMFG. What is it with dudes who say this being entirely non-committal otherwise? Because they want the emotional and physical intimacy without any of the effort and commitment that a relationship takes. Ladies, you're on to us. Men will really do anything to receive love and affection except give one person love and affection in return. Lots of emotionally stunted men out there. Hey, they just want to make sure their wangs measure up. You know what I mean? They don't want a wang to be out of size. They want, it's like, it's every time you go to the urinal. How's your wang doing? Is it hanging? What are you doing over there? Bending around the corner? It doesn't matter. It's not about the size of the wang. It's the hang of the wang, I think. I don't know. Is your wang your grower? I want to know if her now bestie Matt James, who dragged her on finale night, was for asking him out. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Matt, that's a different Matt. I got the wrong thread here. Her not knowing Jed's real name, that you rock with me or don't quote, Peter handing her 100 to leave after their night of passion under Barb's roof. The ego, the audacity, and the weirdness of men will never not surprise me. Ladies, here's the thing. Let me tell you something. You don't know what men have to do to try to talk someone from not talking to your mom, Barb, and getting her upstairs. I mean, maybe in his head, he's got a side text going on with his buddies. He's like, all right, Remember that girl I was on a national TV show with? Yeah, she's here. And they're like, awesome. And you're like, no, she's talking to my mom. What do I do? Text her, come upstairs for some rough, Harrison bumping. No, that's too aggressive. Text her, you want to have a nut. No, be a little forward. Ask her if she wants to cuddle. All right, we'll do that. You know what I mean? The point being is that if a lady's into you guys, you can just ask her in any which way you want. Clearly, Hannah Brown was going to make sure that she was going to leave no stones unturned, and she was fed a Peter Weber of lies to get her into that mindset. And as she says, the juju just wasn't there anymore. She felt it in the windmill, and like I've been saying, you can't have good sex at your parents' house. You got to bring the WD-40, the hardwood floors are crinking, there's pipes that are moving, the bedrooms are way too close together. Can we get some architects out there designing, homes at the child's bedroom as far from the parents so that if they have to bump Harrison's, there's no interrupting? I mean, golly. But then again, did Barbara really care? She probably tucked a condom underneath Peter's pillow. Go have fun, son. We'll be down here making waffles when you're ready. Let me know what you guys think about this. And don't forget, if you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, you don't. We'll have other breaking updates as they come. You guys have a good one. We'll talk to you later.